Differentiation, digital presence, and positioning. Brand and career aspects in the digital age. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here today. It's a pleasure for me to share a bit of my journey and insights on building successful personal and business brands. I'm happy to be here today to delve together into a critical topic that's redefining the professional landscape. To present myself, I am specialist in business development, postgraduate in management and entrepreneurship from PUC. I'm bachelor in law from UFPR. I'm technologist in institutional communication from UTFPR, and I'm member of many associations and um, institutions here. I'm mentor, professor, and executive director of the 220 marketing agency. So first, I want to thank Victor and the entire organization for inviting me. And I apologize for my English vocabulary or pronunciation. You know, we speak Portuguese here, but I'll do my best. I'll just let my translator open here all the time to save me if I forget how to say something. So, if you have any questions, please let me know. I want to help you. Let's get started. So, we're going to talk about differentiation, digital presence, brand positioning, and tendencies. Differentiation, it's about standing out in the crowd. So, defining differentiation. It's the key to standing out in a saturated digital world. It's all about identifying what makes us unique and effectively communicating that. The unique value, it's important for us to discover our unique value and highlight it. We'll explore inspiring examples of professionals who have effectively communicated what sets them apart, and continuous innovation because it's crucial. We'll explore practical strategies to incorporate innovation into our daily professional journey and social media. About digital presence. We're going to talk about the importance of this because how our online presence directly impacts the perception of our personal brand. We'll explore statistics and trends. About social media management. We're going to talk about practical tips for optimizing our social media presence. And we're going to discuss how to maintain an authentic and consistent presence, ensuring that our brand is recognized by the public, even our personal brand, because yes, we are brands too. About relevant content, we're going to talk about creating and sharing relevant content because it's essential. We'll discuss tools and platforms to amplify our digital presence. About positioning, so about brand positioning, defining this. Positioning is all about choosing a niche and standing out as an expert. How can we effectively position ourselves in our fields? About strategic networking, we're going to talk a little about this. We'll explore strategies for building and maintaining a strong professional network, emphasizing the importance of networking in building our positioning. About online reputation management, it's all about handling feedback and criticism, discussing strategies to build and maintain a positive online reputation. Then I'll invite all of you for questions and interactions. And let's recap the key points discuss today, okay? So, first, let's take a look at these symbols. We are talking here about Harley Davidson, Nike, Red Bull, Jeep. Those are famous brands around the world. When we think, let's do this exercise. When we think of Harley Davidson, do we think of that romantic woman wearing a flowered skirt? No, right? We think of a guy with tattoos, with long gray beard, with in a leather jacket. But what I want you to think with me, what did Harley do to make us think of it this way almost automatically? See, everything I showed you here was a symbol. There is something about the brands we connect with, we buy from. We are loyal and we have an affinity with them. In some cases, it's as if we love them. It's all about loyalty and trust. So, brand archetypes provide a framework based on human psychology to help our companies build a valuable relationship. And we know that sales is all about relationship, it's all about trust, right? Then, branding comes before marketing. Branding defines what is being spread, the personality and universe of our brands. So it's much more than visual identity, much more. It's all about building a powerful and authentic personal brand. So, digital presence is not just about having a profile on social media, it's about building a powerful and authentic personal brand that resonates with your target audience, with your persona. By strategically using platforms like LinkedIn, you not only showcase your skills, but you tell the unique story behind your professional achievements. You can do this, you should do this. So, this creates a genuine connection with employers, colleagues, and opportunities, right? It creates opportunities for us. And our brand and career aspects that we're going to talk about here today, it's all about creating opportunities, creating visibility. So, we are going to understand a little bit more about this kind of brand positioning. You all know these brands here, and knowing how to differentiate a business from a brand, it's the first step to get you started to understand the power that differentiation has within companies, which even in crisis manage to stand out from the competition. Or maybe you guys know, um, like Calvin Klein was, let me see, how can I say falida? Bankrupt. It was like the company was failed, was bankrupt, but it was sold by millions of dollars just because of the brand value, you know. So we have to differentiate business from brand, right? The Industrial Revolution brought a new form of consumption to the world. From the moment that large industries mass produce, the biggest concern is increasing sales so they don't generate an accumulation of stock. And with this, the price war and the lack of differentiation come to the fore. So, to know how to differentiate yourself amid so much competition, you need to understand the current market and the importance of being different. And that's all we are going to discuss here today. To be the only option in the minds of your clients, making the competition irrelevant, and consequently to increase your company's revenue, right? To build a reputation linked to a unique look and personality. So brands are not just logos. Brands are also like people are also brands. Okay? So we can talk here about 12 brand archetypes. Where did those archetypes came from? It's not from my head. It's from the psychologist Jung that came after Freud. He told us about archetypes, and it's all about human archetypes. And marketing uses these archetypes, these 12 categories, for branding. We're going to discuss here about the creator, sage, caregiver, innocent, jester, magician, ruler, hero, regular guy, rebel, explorer, and lover. And we are going to understand where do those brands fit in. When I said rebel, for example, you can relate to Harley Davidson, but we are going to understand why, right? When I said hero, you can relate to Nike, but we are going to understand a little bit more about this. And it's a fun way to understand how can we position ourselves in the middle of the how can I say concorrência? Competition, right? So let's start by this visualization. We have four big categories here. One, the green one, it's all about exploring spirituality. The orange ones are like to leave a legacy. The red ones about to pursue connection, and the blue ones to provide structure. So it's a easy way for us to visualize what we are talking about. It's a way to organize our categories. They're like the outlaw is talking about liberation. The magician is talking about power. The hero is talking about mastering. The lover, intimacy. The jester, enjoyment. The everyman or common man is talking about belonging. The caregiver is all related to service. The ruler is related to control. The creator is related to innovation. The innocent is related to safety. The sage is related to understanding. And the explorer is related to freedom. Okay, but I'm like, I am going to apply to a business job, and how can I present myself like a hero, like a rebel, like a creator? We're going to see that lifestyle here is important too, like your hobbies, like the way you position yourself in your social media. It's all about your clothes, your appearance, your personal branding too. So you can connect with your employees, with your audience, right? So it's not about just for sale. It's about sales of your ideas. It's about something buying your ideas, your positioning. So we're going to discuss a little bit more about each one of those categories of brand archetypes. So the creator. The creator has a vision and a desire to create. And it's all about a product or experience which realizes their vision. So they are visionaries. When I think about the creator, I can uh, almost automatically think about Steve Jobs, think about Apple. That's how Apple positioned its brand from the competition. And that's one of the reasons why it's so expensive related to the competition. Even when they are really selling really expensive products, they are still making a lot of records, sales records. And why? The desire of the creator is to create the perfect product or service. The goal is the innovation, and they use creativity to solve problems. The brand, this kind of the message this kind of brand leaves is think different. That's their positioning. So they want to express themselves through the products they produce and the experience they create. We can talk about like Adobe GoPro here too, right? Here I just want you to observe the positioning, the creation, the creative positioning Lego brought here in this ad with the shadow, you know. So it's all about creativity. It's all about thinking different, right? So the sage. This sage archetype is a seeker of knowledge. It's a seeker of wisdom and believes that truth will set you free. That's his brand message. The truth will set you free. So we can think about TED, we can think about Google, BBC, Discovery Channel, Times. The traits are wisdom, intelligence, expertise, information, influence. And the fears are lies, misinformation, ignorance, inaccuracy, stupidity. So you can think about all scientists, all teachers, professors, all things that all persons that are really references in their areas, they can be known as the sage. But it's really obvious. It's a common archetype to this kind of positioning. So I invite you guys to not just position yourselves like the sage. I invite you, colleagues, to position yourselves with a little bit more of personality. You can bring some more storytelling, and we're going to talk about this in the sequence. Let's go to caregiver. when I think about a brand that's the that fit that fits the caregiver archetype, I think about Johnson. I think about Pampers, but I do think about Volvo too. Even if it's related to, like, it's a car and trucks industry, they always talk about how secure are their equipments, how secure are their cars, are their trucks. The ads are all related to families. They always bring the family to the ad. So car, caregivers are driven by compassion and the desire to help others. So they want others to feel nurtured and secure. Um, the brand message here is to treat others as yourself. The fears are selfishness, ingratitude, instability, and neglect. When you think about like Volvo positioning itself with against instability, so what do I build um, about this brand is like secure. When I think about a secure car, I think about Volvo. So that's why the brand archetype is so important for us, because it's in our daily routines, it's in our minds, even when we don't think about this like actively. When we think about this almost automatically, right? The innocent. Brands with an innocent archetype have a core to provide happiness. So you can see there its icon. It's all like almost a hippie guy there with flowers, with birds. So it's all related to nature too. The brand message is really positive here. Is the glass is half full. So we can think about Dove, McDonald's, Coke, Volkswagen. And the strategy is to do the right thing. So the desire is all about love, peace, and happiness for all. You know, these brands rely on honesty and good virtues and simplicity rather than innovation. So the jester, it's really curious. I do like this brand archetype, especially um, these ones to make people laugh. This is really positive, like the innocent, but this is really a little bit more fun. So the strategy here is to be playful. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. That's the brand message here. And we can think about Budweiser, Skittles, M&Ms. It's all about enjoy life and have fun. The goal is to entertain. We can see this here in this next slide. Skittles, you can see the kind of the typography, the kind of the letters there, um, the colors, the sky, the rainbow. It's like related to kids. It's colorful. When we think about the positioning, McDonald's did too here, the innocent, you can see some relation. So when a brand is in a brand archetype, it doesn't mean you cannot represent another one a little bit. You can represent, we are really multiple, so we can represent more than one archetype each time, right? Here, the magician. The magician brand archetype is a visionary that wants to dazzle their audience with new and exciting experiences and make dreams come true. So, if you put your brain here to work about the magician. Let's think about Disney, right? Let's think about all the magic kingdom they made out. So they like to take their followers on a mystical journey and provide them with magical moments that stick in their memory. So the desire is to turn dreams into reality, make dreams come true, and make the impossible possible. It's all about Disney. You can see Disney here, like in all its positioning. So magicians are related to knowledge, but prefer to use it to realize their vision, then share it directly with the world, with their public. Their traits: transformational, charism, imaginative, idealistic, insightful. Now, the ruler. The ruler is a dominant personality that desires power and control. They love rules, especially when they are able to set them and they expect others to follow suit. So their strategy is to lead and to create exclusivity. The traits are power, status, success, wealth, loyalty. Laughter is the world's best medicine. So we can think about Microsoft, Rolls-Royce, Rolex, Hugo Boss. So the desire is to control. The goal is to success. The hero. The hero has a strong sense of right and wrong, and you can see this icon here, like its language, its corporal language, saying like this. I think I almost automatically think about Nike. All Nike ads are using this kind of archetype. So the desire is to master yourself. The strategy is to motivate and encourage. And the brand message: where there is a will, there is a way. So does this too. We can see this, and I just brought here this ad. You can see the letters all thin and bold. The message is, the logo is like clear and simple, and it's all about her facial expressions. It's all about people being heroes there at sports. You don't have to be a famous athlete to be a hero. It's all about Nike positioning, right? The everyman. Everyman brands are unpretentious, relatable, and approachable. They are common. They are common. They are the common man there, standing, walking by the streets and standing there. We know a lot of common men. So we can relate to this kind of positioning by belonging. It's not all about like being a hero or being fun, being creative. It's just about being common. A lot of beer brands uses this kind of positioning. Here in Brazil, we could think about Skol brand, beer brand, about this positioning. They are like common. Everyman brands are they are they want to build deep connections with people by belonging, by connecting with others easily. We can think about Havaianas here too. The how can I say, chinelo, the slipper brand here in Brazil. You can think about Havaianas here in the everyman positioning. Right, the Rebel. It's also known as Outlaw. You can think about now about the Harley Davidson thing I told you. It's all about revolution, disruption. They shake things up and do things differently. When we think about Harley Davidson, we think about even heavy equipment. It isn't easy to drive. It isn't easy to pilot their motorcycles, but they are still in the heart of their public. Why? Because it's all about the lifestyle. They build a lifestyle. They build an archetype and a feeling, and they belong to a group. So Uber is rebel too. Red Bull is rebel too. Red Bull fits in rebel and in magician. Sometimes their ads are really creative and they fit in rebel and magician too. So rules are made to be broken. That's their brand message. And we think about this in this ad I brought here. World Tattoo Rankings. One mom, two motorcycles. Harley Davidson motorcycles. So it's a lifestyle. Imagine if you build a brand that is so strong that people want to get it tattooed in their bodies, you know? So it's about the strong of brand building, brand management. Here, the explorer. Brands with the explorer archetype are driven by the desire for freedom and independence. So it's all about discovering things. It's all about taking their own path, um, seek out new things, and set yourself free. So I think about Jeep, I think about the North Face, I think about National Geographic here. When I think about the explorer, the lover. This is the last one. Lovers are passionate and their goal is to get intimate with you, intimate with their public. So the strategy is to be desired. I think about the perfumes ads here. A girl passing by with long hair, with long dresses. You can see here Victoria's Secret fits exactly with this kind of brand archetype. Chanel too. They are spiritual, companionable, and family orientated. So love makes the world go round. That's a kind of archetype that's really used in cosmetics, in the cosmetics industry. So here we have another visualization. And could you fit those brands here? When we see magician, Disney, hero, Nike, Rebel, Harley Davidson, Explorer, North Face, Sage, BBC, Ruler, Boss. So when you start to look at the brands and the ads out there, even personal brands out there, when they are really clear in your mind, what do they bring to you? So it isn't all rational. It is about like the feelings that brands gives to you, gives to your brain. So we can build this. So that's an important slide here because we saw like commercial brands, but we can build this in our personal branding because we are brands too. So we can model our personal brand so that the market sees us the way we expect. And it's all about intention. And so it's our duty. That's why I put it written down here. It's our duty as professionals to make the right people, the right public recognize us as a great option for them to buy, as recognize our work with the best options for them, for their needs, So it's all about creating this. So the way we dress, the way we speak, our posts on social media, everything says about us. Everything. And using this strategically means seeing the opportunity to connect with our audience in a solid way. So it's all about reputation, authority. My clients always ask me, I want to be seen as an authority because I am. My curriculum is great. I studied a lot. I have years of practice here, so I want to have the reputation I deserve. So how can we do this? Personal brand has common mistakes here. We have a lot of mistakes here, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to exercise this by applying my own presentation, right? I can show you who am I telling you these things like job list or this. You're seeing my slides, right? So you can see this, and I can tell you more about me by these images or by telling you this. I want you to compare my presentation and your feelings when I do like this. Hey, I'm Ágatha Barreto. I have more than 10 years of experience in communication. I am a business development specialist. I studied communication, I studied law, I studied master business in administration in management and entrepreneurship. I am a executive director of a agency here who works in Curitiba, in São Paulo, and in Miami. I am a mentor and an investor. I studied with Bruno Piscinini, Priscila Zillo, Jonas Kaz, and all the authorities here at Brazilian market and international authorities. That's a really rigid presentation, right? That's a really job presentation. And you can think about, okay, she's like a little, oh, hear her, or maybe, oh, I just don't want to hear her. Or I can show you this and tell you a story about me. I can tell you, these are my parents and my brother, and I am from Maringá, a smaller city here in Curitiba, where I do live now. And that when I was 7 years old, my father was transferred in his job, and we came here to a new city where I was far from my friends, where I was far from my family, my biggest family. And I can tell you that I do like to explore. I do like to dive to the arrow thing. I do like to. I am related to sports, to being outside in the nature. If I have to tell you, my team here, Palmeiras, is the Brazilian champion. He just played the last partida. How can I say partida? Match yesterday, and they just won again. So I'm all related, and it's true. And I'm all related to sports, to things like this. Also, I can tell you and I can show you with photographs that I am almost addicted to study. I am always learning and studying and getting into courses and into classes and into congress. So I'm more related to work, and I believe a lot in work and in studies. And you can relate a little bit more with me or not. Um, and I can tell you, I do love what I do. I think about making better and developing myself and my job every day. I can tell you, for me, life is a gift, and it's a pleasure. It's a big pleasure. It's a like a blessing for me to stay here, because last year I had a critical issue, a critical illness. I got really sick, and it was like really fast. I was healthy in the morning, and in the night I was taking a brain surgery. And it's true, it was in the last year. So I can tell you, I recovered myself, and I am really grateful to be here, to be talking to you, to bring my energy and my personal branding to everything I do every day, since especially since this occasion. And it gave me a lot of life messages that we have to stop. We have to take care of our days. We have to take care of our routines. We have to like what we do. We have to connect with the right people, right? So that's a way for me to connect with you, or not, but to express myself a lot more than like this that I just showed you. So you can see how we can connect or not with people just by telling our story, right? I'm going to show you some hot topics here now. So, what's your brand differentiation? As we see, I told you about my personal story just to make you think about what makes you different from every other person in the world. Your story. Nobody has the same story as you have. And we can build this in our personal brands and in our commercial brands. Storytelling is a powerful tool for creating emotional connections with the audience and strengthening brand positioning. Here are some storytelling strategies with examples. I'll tell you. But first, storytelling, it's not about just what you do, it's how and why you do it. Uh, Later, I'll give you some book advice suggestions, and that's one I do like a lot. Find Your Why. And it's the same author from Start by the Why. It's the Simon Sinek book. I recommended you to read this. So we can identify the hero first. This strategy is to present your target audience as the hero of the story. So this creates instant identification and makes people see themselves in the narrative. Our brains like to follow stories. They like to follow stories. They like to follow movies. So Nike excels at this, as we saw, Nike excels at this point, like identifying himself as the hero. And many of its commercials feature everyday athletes overcoming personal challenges, making customers the heroes of their own journeys. And what can we do more to create a coherent narrative? So, the strategy here is to develop a consistent story that permeates all brand interactions. So when you're in your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn site, um, when you're in person talking to your public, from advertising to social media, this helps build a cohesive brand identity. For example, we have Apple, who is known for its consistent narrative of innovation, elegant design, and simplicity across all its products and communications. So we can, I'm here at this slide. So we can identify the hero, create a coherent narrative, we can evoke emotions, and use emotional elements to create an emotional connection with the audience. So emotions have the power to embed the message in people's minds. Like Coke, Share a Coke. The Share a Coke campaign personalized packaging with names and nicknames. Do you remember that? When we are like trying to, we were looking for our names in the bottles at the market too. They create an emotional connection by associating the brand with ideas of sharing and friendship and family, as we see now at the Christmas ads, right? So then we should show our journeys, or our brand journeys. We can build this storytelling. We have to tell our story, to tell the story of the brand's growth and evolution over time. So showcase the challenges overcome and milestones achieved to create empathy and respect. People do this a lot in LinkedIn, a lot. And we can think about like an outdoor clothing brand that shares stories about sustainability and its commitment to the environment, highlighting its journey to become an environmentally conscious company, right? Then we can integrate values and mission. How do we integrate values and mission? And now I'm going to talk about values and mission in the next moments. We should align the brand story with its values and mission. This creates authenticity and shows the audience that the brand is committed to something more significant than just selling products. Like we have some cases, Tom Shoes, who incorporated to donating a pair of shoes for every pair sold, integrating this mission into its narrative to highlight its social commitment. So every time they sold a pair of shoes, they donate a pair of shoes. And it's a real interesting positioning that integrates values and mission, right? And then six, we should use impactful visual elements. So you see, the logo and the visual elements are just a part of our brand positioning. To complement the narrative with engaging visual elements such as videos, images, and infographics to reinforce the message and make it memorable. So, by applying these strategies, brands can create engaging stories that not only emotionally connect with the audience, but also strengthen their position in the market and build a solid brand, right? So here are some interesting questions for you to think about when building your brands. What do you want to build? Like, is it a movement? What are the feelings? What is your battle? What motivates you? What can't you stand? How do people usually describe you? When we are understanding our personal signature, our personal brand, we can think about these kind of questions. Here, I brought an example for you to think. When we see you, I think everybody knows the persons here at this slide. And when we think about Messi, the guy in the middle, we think about modeling and clothes and fancy brands, right? No. When we think about Gisele Bündchen, we think about like her acting skills. And when we think about Will Smith, we think about his sports skills, all his football championships. No. Why? Because, okay, they are famous, but we relate them to their jobs. So it's not easy to do this, but it's common for us to describe ourselves by our job positions. Hey, I'm Ágatha, I'm a lawyer. Hey, I'm Giselle, I'm a model. We connect this really strong in our minds. So we can use these kind of connections intentionally. So, what do you want to be seen as an authority on? What values do you want them to associate with you? Do you want your public, your clients to associate with you? You're elegant, you're calm, you're energetic, you're rebel, you're aggressive. When you're thinking about like the investments, guy, um, the stock, the investments, you can think about maybe an aggressive guy, like the movies we saw. So that's a posture, a positioning we little we kind of expect from this kind of positioning. So, in what aspect are you a transformed persona? We're going to talk a little bit about persona. That's your public, your ideal public, right? Your ideal customer, your ideal client. Sometimes we are our ideal clients transformed because we entrepreneurship is all about making solving problems. So if you had a problem before and now you can solve it, because when you needed when your demand wasn't um, attended, wasn't solved by a standing brand or company, you build your own brand to solve that problem. So sometimes we can see in the narratives of the leaders there at companies that they are their transformed persona, right? So persona, you can do a customer list. Which profiles have purchased the most from you so far? Or do they buy more from competitors that you are inspired, identified with? Uh, from it's like for you to understand where are you, what makes you different from your competitors. If you doesn't have clarity about your purpose, you can. I brought this here for you to show you how you can find your purpose. So, the Japanese word ikigai means life purpose and refers to defining your personal meaning or of life in relation to your talents, to your passions, to your profession, so to your vocation mission. And you can see your purpose is all related to this connection. What you do love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you are good at. Um, Sometimes people ask me about how can I like market, how can I develop marketing strategies for my things. And when I see what are they doing, it's all about like a hobby. Maybe it's so specific uh, that it's difficult for us to think about a strategy that would sell these things, even when they are like caseiro. How can I say? House-made, um, artisanal, handmade. Imagine I do like to um, produce handmade things, and that they are like about my taste of colors, my style. It's not about solving problems for people, solving people's problems. It's all about making me happy by doing this. We can monetize this kind of hobby. Yes, we can. But I suggest you not to think only about your hobbies and what you do love, what you are good at. You must think too about professional and vocation, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. So you can differentiate yourself and your product or service, tell a story, and position yourself in the public mind, right? So it's all about authenticity and brand DNA. Here are some questions I want you to think. You can photograph this slide to think about. Mission. What needs or problems do you want to meet? Do you want to solve with your personal brand? Is there a profile or target audience that you want to reach and impact more with your personal brand? Those are some questions I want you to think and to write the answer. Values. What characteristics or behaviors do you admire in other people and consider important in your own life? Is there a common enemy you want to fight against by leading the voice of your audience? About vision. How do you envision your personal brand standing out against the competition in your niche? So, when you think about this and you put your intention in constructing this kind of positioning, you gain power, right? Now, we are going to look at some tools for you to construct your personal or commercial brand. Mood board. Do you know what is a mood board? I took the Canva definition. It's an advertising mood board is a collage of visual elements like images, typography, and colors that leads the desired process a advertisement. For an advertisement, the mood board can drive design for a more comprehensive ad campaign. So, advertising mood boards can be used for any kind of ad or campaign, from social media to banner ads. And if you have an idea for an ad campaign or platform, you can use an advertising mood board to inspire ideas and drive the design process. So, it's a reference panel about what your brand represents. You can open a bright slide and start putting things you think connect with the message you want to give, who you want to communicate with, how, and you can start putting things to visualize what colors are more present, so you can decide, oh, I think I started to see a pattern here. You can start to see a pattern there in your college, in your reference panel. So it's a good exercise for you to do. Here we can see, like, in the middle, it's all about my lifestyle, my personal life, my what I do like to do, some things I did do in a month, for example, and I could go to like a visualization, a really dark, really a little bit more heavy or a little bit more colorful. You can start putting things there, photos of you, photos of brands you like, and to start to analyze this to find patterns, right? What feelings do you want to cause? So, empowerment, acceptance, motivation. How do you want someone to feel when reading your content? It's a super important questions for you to think about. Do you want the person to feel more what? More inspired, more anxious, more calm? I don't know. You can construct this. So here I brought some examples for you to understand, like a mood board of clothes and elements you can use in your communication. So, thinking about aesthetics, we could want to show freedom and lightness and simplicity, neutral, like with sophistication and softness, or clean with minimalism and empathy. I am going to show you little examples here. So, if I have a brand that's all related to freedom, I would suggest my expert to use this kind of clothes. You can see they are like all colors related to nature, you know, so colors are symbols too. So this kind of dressing, I would suggest my expert to use. This kind of elements, I would suggest my experts to put in their posts too. When you're constructing a post with the design elements, it's easy for me to understand that this brand or person is related to freedom. You can almost feel freedom from these kind of images and elements, right? Here, if my goal is to show sophistication and softness, I could use these colors, these how can I say, earthy tones, these brown tones. So these are some elements I would suggest him to use. And these are some clothes I would suggest him to use. Even maybe if here he's going to take to take photographs. So I would suggest him to take this kind of clothes for him, for her to connect with the feelings she or he wants to show, like sophistication, elegance, softness, warmth, and neutrality. These kind of colors, this kind of clothes. Do you understand? So we are talking. We are getting to the end of our class here, and we can think about mastering our professional future because my lecture is about brand and career aspects in our digital era. So we can think about like in a world where digital connectivity is the norm, how we manage our online presence has become an essential skill with profound implications for our careers. Do you agree? So the era of the digital revolution has opportunities and challenges. And we are witnessing a digital revolution that is radically transforming the way we live and work. To thrive in this dynamic environment, It is vital to understand how digital presence can be a strategic tool to leverage our careers. So, ignoring this reality is risking falling behind in a landscape where digital innovations are the key to success. So we have to use it in our favor. When we think about the global reach, we can transform local opportunities into global possibilities. So imagine a world where we live, where our professional achievements know no geographical boundaries. Like now, I'm talking in the third South Florida Congress of Development, but I'm from Curitiba. I'm here at Brazil, and we can think about um, digital presence offers exactly that transforming local opportunities into global possibilities. So it extends globally, puts our skills in front of an international audience. So this expanded visibility and can be the key to unlimited opportunities and inspiring collaborations. So we have to use this in our favor. We can talk about practical strategies for digital success, transforming visibility into impact. We can talk about deep profile optimization and producing relevant content, and keep your online profiles as true digital resumes, highlighting our most recent achievements and skills strategically, and our lifestyle too strategically. It's not about posting every day all your daily routine. It's all about being strategical, right? Producing relevant content, becoming a reliable source of insights in our fields by sharing relevant content. This not only demonstrates our knowledge, but also builds our reputation as a leader, as a reference in our areas. So we can see the importance of targeted networking, to use social media to establish strategic connections and to participate in groups and associations, forums, congresses, where prominent professionals in our fields gather to expand our networking opportunities and possibilities. And we could think about like proactive reputation management, and to use social media to establish strategic connections, to participate in groups and forums, and to always be attentive to our online presence, to respond to feedback, to maintain a consistent professional image, and to position ourselves as a reliable and collaborative professional, right? So, to empower ourselves for the professional future, uh, in summary, digital presence is not just a tool, it's a strategic weapon to navigate the contemporary professional landscape. By taking a proactive approach to building and managing our online presence, we are in fact empowering ourselves to face the challenges of the professional future. So, in this digitally interconnected world, online presence is not just an option, but the key to unlock in unimaginable doors of opportunities. And I wish to let us together shape our professional destiny, mastering the digital tools that are transforming the way we achieve success. So, to in the end of our lecture, the definition of marketing here is the science and art of exploring, creating and delivering value to satisfy the needs of a profit-making target market. This is the definition from Philip Kotler. I think you all know him. And the goal here is to make people want what I offer, right? And I want you to know my book suggestions, Outliers. All these books have uh, translations. Hacking Growth. It's about growth hacking, digital branding, and story brand. Those are important lessons for you to understand more what I told you guys about today. So you don't just sell the to the rational. You can sell the transformation, the sensations. Purchasing decisions are emotional. So the rational justifies the decision, right? This is what will differentiate you in the public's view. I could stay here like a week talking to you about those aspects and those things and strategies and techniques, but I can like resume the message here, right? And I want you to think about this message. I just tattooed, it was my first tattoo. May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. It's a phrase that's attributed to Mandela. And what do I want you to think is you shouldn't think about what people think about me when I am exposing myself like this. Well, I for you not to get so worried about what people is going to think about you. Just be yourself and put intention in what you do. And may your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears, right? So it was a pleasure for me. Thank you. I'm going to see here if there are some questions for us. I'm going to access the other link for me to see if there is a question. And I want